Set it to 9:30. Welcome everyone. I set this to 9:30. It's supposed to be at 8:30. So we're hopping
Uh-oh.
on. I don't know. I don't ever set things for that late. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm happy to have you here. I know it's probably a rough day for you.
Yeah, it was. You're not on the TV.
Oh, let me see. Let me go. Let me refresh my YouTube and see if I'm showing there. Hey, you can hear me though. So
Yeah,
that's
I can.
that's a plus. Let me see what it's doing here. Let's see what it's showing.
I can.
Oh, that's a plus. Let me see. Yeah, it's showing on. Hey, we're on the YouTube. Can
Okay.
everybody see us? Can everybody see all of us? This me, Lisa, and the slide. I think so. It's showing on my YouTube that it sees. I see you. Yeah.
Mm, okay. All
I'm
right.
sorry. I'm just trying to make sure how I'm sharing into the so everybody knows, especially since I had the time wrong. I can't believe I did that. So how are
Hello.
you?
I'm okay. His little dog's laying in my lap.
Is it Floki?
Yeah.
Say we throw now. Right before we hopped on, I was talking about the slide here. I made one, and I'm not very crafty, and I wanted to put it up, and then my heart was just like, "Girl, do not put that up there because it's pitiful." And so he reached out. Jen did, and she's like, she's like, "Hey, I was thinking about." I was like, "Oh, well, I have a baseline. Here's some pictures," and I sent it to her. I was like, "Once you see it, you'll understand why I haven't put it up yet." So I gave it to her.
I appreciate it.
I
It
gave it
would
to
mean a
her.
lot to
She is
him.
pretty. Yeah, I love this. I don't know where she got this from because it was not one of the ones I gave her, and that's what I'm saying. I knew she would. I knew she would do so much better.
Well, I appreciate it.
But while we're on here, I'm going to go ahead and let it play. There's music to it, but I figured while we're talking, we'll just let it play in the background. So, when was Aaron born?
April the 5th, 1977. Right now, he'd be about 6 hours old. Yeah,
Was it
I
easy?
love.
Was it
Huh?
an easy? Was he an easy labor, or was he a
Oh
rough?
Lord, no. Time I was 4 months till I had him, I was miserable. He was 2 feet long when he was born.
Ooh.
Under my ribs, I mean, there's all baby.
Now, hold on just 1 second.
Lanissa's little girl made that, Leah. Lane in December, I had the shadow boxes made for him. He's always got pretty flowers.
I want to go back to that. The shadow boxes. That is awesome. What are some of the things that you put in there for them? I can see.
Oh, he had two T-shirts in his clothes that had some Bible verses on them, and one of them was about the perfect storm. and I can't remember exactly what it said, but I put a T-shirt in each of them's box, a rose from his casket spray, the little card that comes from the funeral, and a couple of other things.
I think that's wonderful.
They've grew so much since then. Lane, I think, is he's about 5'10" now, 13.
It's already taller than I am.
Well, what are you? What was you? 4'11", 4'10"?
No. I'm 5'3". My
Oh,
husband, his two older kids, their mother is the shorter than me. Yeah, she's the 4 foot. I think she's. I'll have to ask him to be sure. 4'11", 4'8", for something like that. She's real short. And then Preston and Kate are both. They're taller than me. Gosh.
Hi, Lisa.
hi. How are you doing?
I'm good. I just wanted to be a part of this and be with all you guys today.
I appreciate it. I'm glad. I'm glad you guys are here. It's been a tough
Always.
one.
I know. I don't think it ever gets easier.
It
Not days
don't.
like this.
It don't.
He sure
Mm.
is a beautiful little boy and
He
man.
was.
And
He was into everything.
yeah,
My
I've
daddy.
had one.
Oh, my first one. He was born premature. He was sick a whole lot, so
Oh,
Daddy couldn't roughhouse with him. He
yeah.
had two girls, so he sort of roughhoused with us, but with Aaron, he could roughhouse with him, get down in the floor and play with him and box with him a little bit. Aaron would
Yeah.
wade back at him too, boy. He wasn't but about 8 months old. He'd come right back.
Yeah. I know. We were talking. That sounds like my Ivan.
He,
I,
he was something else.
felt your pain. Yeah.
He could learn. He could watch you do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Second grade, he come home. He went to school at Hillham, and
Okay.
he come home and he said, "Mama," he said, "would you draw me a horse?" I said, "Yeah." So we
Yeah.
sat down at the table, and I drew him a horse. I never had to draw him anything else. He just picked it
Wow.
right up. He could
Yeah.
sing. He
My
could
son
make Tim.
like
He
that.
could make Tim McGraw sound bad, but he loved Tim McGraw's "Don't Take the Girl."
Oh, yes.
Now he loved that.
Yeah. I could sing that song right now, word for word. I loved it too.
Oh, he'd sing karaoke, and I mean, he could draw. He could tattoo. He could do
Mm.
anything. He could mechanic. He could do anything he wanted to do. If he just, drillers, him and his brother, they drilled the most footage as ever drilled at, I think it's like 3,300 feet in one day.
Wow. Wow.
So,
Very hard worker.
yeah, yeah. He had a piece of drill steel fall out of a rack. It hit him in the back of the head. His daddy wasn't there. And they called his daddy and said they thought that steel had killed him.
Oh, wow.
He got up off the ground and kept rolling.
Wow.
Anybody normally it probably would have killed him. It still weighed 200 pounds.
Dear
Love
Lord.
kids. Love this little Floki. He's laying in my lap.
Mhm.
And his sister, he'd move heaven and earth for her. Both the
How's she
boys
doing
would.
today?
I said she stayed busy all day.
Yeah.
When
Okay,
she
good.
lays down to go to sleep, that's when it'll
Yeah,
drop.
That's how I am.
that's
Hmm.
how
Yeah,
I am too. It's like whenever I just have that time,
yeah.
it's the
It's
worst
the
part.
silence, it's
That's,
not,
yeah.
it's so loud. And when you lay down, to me, that's when it's the loudest.
Oh, yeah. I can be okay all day and then,
Because you're just constantly, just like she said,
hmm
busy. And then it all stops when you lay down. And no matter
in
how
all
tired
things.
you are,
He's just
Absolutely.
I feel for you all.
a heck of
And
a ball player. We moved to New Johnsonville, Tennessee, and we lived. Me and him and his dad lived in a small trailer, and we had a basketball goal out front. Me and him would play 4 or 5 guys at a time. They'd come out on me, and I'd get the ball back to him. They could, just couldn't stop us. That right there is the most precious thing I ever seen in my life.
God. I mean, he just
He
sounds so
was,
much more than just the normal,
yeah,
kid. Just,
he was
he was
loved.
so loved. That's a
yeah,
yes.
he
Yes.
definitely was loved. I love him, and I never got to meet him, not in this, world.
I don't know, and correct me if I'm wrong. He just seemed like he could fit in everywhere. He was that type of person that just could fit in with anybody.
He
Any
could.
any
Uh,
clique that you want to say, he could kind of just drift through them all.
well, now Aaron was. He didn't. He never liked clicks,
Yeah.
but
He
he
never
he could he could fit in anywhere he wanted to. Uh, I
Yeah.
don't know. Aaron loved his ability to love. Was and loyalty to family and dedication is. I've never seen
Anything like
anybody
that.
have it any stronger than he did. He People couldn't understand how he was. He never held a grudge.
Yeah.
He was so
Mm-mm.
big, everybody wanted to try him, and they'd end up finally getting into it, and then he'd pick them up and patch them up, feed them, put them to bed. Never ever held a grudge.
It's just like he was sent, just to teach this
Yeah,
huge lesson in love.
he had a little friend down in New Johnsonville that a little feller messed up and had spent his truck payment or lost it.
Oh, no.
And Aaron, it took every dime he made during that time. There's a lot of rain coming down. Took every dime he had, but he paid that boy's truck payment for him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Give
That's
you
what
the
we need
shirt. I'm
more
telling you,
of.
he'd give you the shirt off his back and do
Yeah.
without himself. I've seen him do it so many times. And that's
He knew.
like his cousin he was trying to help out. She
Yeah.
wouldn't have done the same for him. Ain't
Not
no
many
way.
do. Not many do. And that's really sad.
It
But,
is.
but he was trying to teach people through his actions, not even
Yeah.
consciously, just so sad.
He the women were absolutely nuts over him. That's that little
Yeah.
sideways smile and them big eyes.
Yeah, that little,
Uh,
yeah, smirk.
yeah.
But not a smirk. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, he has a very handsome little leg.
My dad, my dad,
Little
my dad had.
sideways smirk, a half
Hmm.
smile,
Yeah,
that devilish grin.
Yeah, that would have got me
yeah.
too. So,
Well, see that daddy had the same grin,
oh wow,
and
okay.
Leah, Lanissa's little girl, got this. It's a master's trait. Sort of drop your head and look sideways.
Oh
It's a
yes,
bad look. It's like, ma'am, you need to
don't
back
mess
off.
with me.
Oh,
Yeah,
and Lanissa's little
I
girl's
know
got
that.
it, and they
I
can
got
do
it
the
too.
craziest.
Hi,
They can do the craziest things
Lisa
with their
chasing
eyes.
here.
So can I. I just never showed anybody because you guys probably think I'm crazy.
Oh Lord,
Ah,
but Aaron and Lanissa, they thought alike. Lanissa's the one that picked the songs out, except for the Amazing Grace by the Snake Charmer.
okay, yeah.
It's a bagpipe version,
Yeah, I
and
like that. That was beautiful.
I thought it was.
It is.
But,
Yeah.
those songs play and they
Mm.
bring it all
What
back.
song is this on the slide? You
Yeah.
want me to play it real quick?
This is the last one.
Here, let me go back. I'll
When I
play it.
kissed him goodbye, then they closed the casket.
Okay, I didn't know that. I am so sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right. I love the song.
Oh, I didn't
Beautiful
know that
song.
was the one.
His first one was One More Light by Lincoln Park,
Oh, I love, yeah.
and Amazing Grace by the Snake Charmer. And that
This is what you sent him home with.
Return to the Innocence.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
In a beautiful way.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm getting the chills.
Well, that just makes me look at this slide so differently now.
I'm sorry. I should have told you.
No, in a good way. No, it's
Yeah.
not that. I'm glad I know that. I'm
Yeah.
so
It
glad.
is very beautiful to me.
Oh, I did not know. That just, yeah, it makes me look at it. I like hearing, I love that. I'm a very sentimental
He
person.
loved music. All my kids did. I always had a killer stereo that was raised on Southern rock, Leonard Skinner, Blackfoot,
Yeah.
Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. And,
Love it.
before I'd get to the house, I could hear that stereo.
That's good.
Yeah. He was
That's
like
how I
me.
am.
The
Mhm.
louder
Me
it
too.
was, the better I
better.
liked it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like to feel the music.
yeah.
Just said, did you hear me? She's here. So she just shared to her community page.
Oh,
She says we're gonna get the miserable people who did this.
yes, we are.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
There's a lot of things starting to come out, and they make me madder than I've ever been.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
I
you
don't
don't
know
want to
how
hear
that.
these details.
Yeah.
I don't know how those people look themselves in the mirror that's covering this up. But God's got it.
Yeah, he does.
And it
He
will come.
surely does.
I believe that. It's going to
I make all it.
Excuse me.
What do you think about his little rabbits on his headstone?
Oh, I love that. I
It took
absolutely
me
love that.
about 6 months to find them. Then Lanissa painted them and sealed them.
Oh,
And
wow.
people that they had to wait to put the picture on his headstone of him. And when they put it on, they put the rabbits on too.
Oh,
She done a good job fixing them.
she's very talented too.
Oh, they both are.
Yes, very much so. Wow.
Yeah. All of them's like that. Played softball together. I mean, good ball players, good
Everything.
athletes. Their daddy never liked it, but I was a ball freak. That's my most prized picture right there.
It's
Oh,
so cute. I want to go back.
the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one right there.
Oh, nope. I missed it.
No, you're fine.
You know that
Right there.
he was nearly 13 months old before he got his first tooth. All my
Oh,
kids
wow.
were like
Wow.
like that old. I was gonna have to buy them false teeth.
I bet.
And he
But every
loved
kid's
dogs
different.
and babies. Oh my God, you can see how babies. The night Nissa won that crown, the lady was taking pictures for the newspaper, Miss Hooper. People had a ball watching them too. Her in that dress and that baseball cap, turning
They
around
just
backwards.
characters together,
Yeah,
weren't they? Didn't they just like totally feed into each other? But in a good way.
She was Miss Humphreys County 2000.
Oh, wow.
She won
You
all of
go,
them that year.
Lanissa.
I guess she ended up really. She went to Miss Tennessee. She said, "Mom, I don't want to do that no more." I said, "Well, why?" She said,
Because,
"Mama, everything they've got up there is fake."
yep.
She said,
I was going to
"Fake
say, that's not
teeth,
for her.
fake boobs, fake
Yeah.
butts." I said, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
And she's very outspoken.
Down to earth.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the morning I took that picture.
Oh,
I
that's
knew that
this one.
picture was,
Explain.
I knew it was going to mean something.
I was wondering what that picture represented when it was in the slide.
Oh, good story.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah.
I I walk. I'd get up and I'd walk every day before I went to work. I get up pretty early when it's hot. There's just a little back country road, and I just looked up and saw that light. I took the picture. I knew it'd have a meaning to it. You know, if you look,
Beautiful picture.
you can
If you actually
see.
look at it, you can see an outline.
Yeah, you can. I knew it was going to mean something.
Lisa, you took that picture?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did.
Oh,
And it's
I
hard to
sat
see,
and
but you can actually see a figure like standing in front of it, an outline.
yeah.
yeah.
It's crazy. It's beautiful.
Yes, it is a beautiful. I didn't know you took it yourself.
He was a rare
So
breed. He
he was.
was an old soul.
Mm-hmm.
He like I said, the girls loved him. Uh but there was things that he couldn't do, lines he couldn't cross.
Yep.
And
That's
in
what
the end
ultimately. Yep.
that's what probably cost him his life. And this little dog, he loved him. Oh my God. He had one. We lived in New Johnsonville. Craziest little dog I ever seen. It rained. That little dog that's the happiest dog you ever seen. Get out in the mud puddles.
In the
It
rain.
come down. Yes.
That's so
It
strange.
he caught parvo,
Oh
and
no.
Aaron cried. Oh my God, he cried.
Oh,
I
poor
took him to the
baby.
vet. It cost $600, but they saved him.
Oh, okay.
He loved that dog. He had a connection with animals,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
those two kids right there,
That is
there's
so,
everything to them.
And he's watching them too.
and they are going to love what you made for them as they grow.
Oh
And
God.
they learned it,
Yeah,
you know.
I just hope they remember him.
Oh, of course they will. You never forget your father.
Mm-mm.
Never. Never.
Life moves so fast now.
I know.
That's the only thing I worry about. People move so fast they don't stop and look around
I know.
and see what's going on in their world. And that's why all the corruption is up there where it's at
Yeah.
right now. People was moving too fast,
Yeah.
trying to have everything in the world, give their kids everything.
Yep.
Kids should have to earn what they get. They don't know
Absolutely.
responsibilities. And
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
the boys, when me and their daddy, when we lived in Hillham, I worked in Maryville, Tennessee. I drove 140 miles one way every day and
Wow.
come home. And well, I drove a total of 280 every day. And their daddy was working in Nashville. We would come home. Those kids would have the dishwasher done run, the dishes put up, they'd vacuum.
Yeah,
I'd
that's
fold
how
their
it should be.
clothes. They were,
Mm-hmm.
they were great kids. Now,
Yeah.
Aaron liked to prank Lanissa pretty hard. He put
Lord.
her in the dryer one time and turned it on.
Oh, gee. Sisters and
Yeah,
brothers are awful to each other when they're little. It happens to all of us. Like, I've had 3 all
yeah.
together, and they do awful things. My daughter got
You
sprayed
know
with Windex. No, she
what?
sprayed her brother with Windex in the eye.
But
Something like that.
he
I'm
turned.
just like, oh my
What?
God.
I had a runner that went across my living room, so my carpet wouldn't get dirty.
Hmm.
And he turned that runner over, has them little spikes on it. Turned that over and let out a blood curdling scream, and here come Lanissa.
Oh my God. That little
I
evil
mean, it
booger.
was something. It was
Uh,
something for them. I mean,
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
And I had to leave at 3:30 in the morning because I had to go across the time change at Rockwood. And the oldest one, we called him Turbo. He would get them up and made sure they get on the school bus in the morning. I mean,
Oh,
they
wow.
were just good kids,
Yeah,
great kids.
they
Evening,
were.
Rev J.
But I couldn't have asked for better. I
Yeah,
could not have.
that is for sure.
Jason said, remember, I'm putting together the compilation videos for them also. That's going to be awesome to see. I am so bad at
Yes.
doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I love,
Aaron, that birthday cake, him and Jackie made that cake together. He would help her
What?
decorate cakes. Yes.
He helped make that cake. That looks
Yes, he sure
like
did.
a bakery
That
cake.
picture
Wow.
is him and his brother together working.
that's what I was, what is that? What are they doing there?
That they're running a drill. It's a air track.
Okay.
They drill holes, and then their dad would come in and load the dynamite behind them and blow them.
Okay.
Okay.
Were they like mining for something over there?
They drill. Let's see. They actually that I believe was took at Vanderbilt. They drilled the hole where they put Vanderbilt's Children's Hospital in Nashville.
Oh,
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
They drill on highways, swimming pools,
ah.
all
Okay.
kinds of stuff. Just if
Okay.
downtown. Actually, their dad shot a building down beside the old Ryman Auditorium.
Oh,
Both of the
how
boys
cool.
could load dynamite too.
Wow.
Like I said, they could do anything.
Yeah, they sure could.
He's so tall. He's such a
Yeah.
tall man.
Well, yeah, he would look like a monster compared to me.
I
I'm like
don't
five
even
two.
think I'd probably come up to like mid arm there, like halfway between his shoulder and
I
his
think I'd
elbow,
come up a little bit above his waist, maybe. I wouldn't care though.
Oh, no, I'm not going to say nothing.
Oh gosh. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I said above, above, above. Okay.
JC.
Anyways, you're so
Oh,
funny.
That boy was a
I know what
mess
you're
now.
gonna say. You told me before.
Bless his little heart. You know,
Yeah.
he had some run-ins with the law, and
Yeah, it's a hard place to grow up though.
he respected them. You know,
Yeah, he
and now
wasn't
there
just
was
a punk.
one he didn't like. He didn't even act like he liked him. He's like me. I don't pretend well. You can
No.
read what I'm thinking on my face.
Oh God, me
And
too.
they'd send
Hate.
6, 8 to come after him. He'd play with them for a little while, and then he'd go get in the car and ask them if they was coming.
Wow.
I mean, just crazy little things, and it never was nothing serious.
Well, it's
It
almost like
was
he knew that was bad then, you know what I mean? And he knew when someone was doing wrong and he would call them
well,
on
they
it.
were actually friends. He was friends with a lot of them,
No, I'm talking about the
and
one he didn't like.
he started on Aaron the night
Yeah.
we got into New Johnsonville.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like he
And
wouldn't allow that.
Yeah.
That
Uh,
injustice.
he messed with him and messed with him. And now, you know, Aaron was grown, but he was still my child.
Mm-hmm.
And that poor old guy, he took a cussing, man, that it was bad. Uh, he brought down on Aaron to shoot him one night. I stepped in front of Aaron, called him everything but what he was. And, I had to jar him back into reality. Aaron, he wasn't trying to do nothing wrong. They sprayed him so much with pepper spray, bless his heart. It got down in his pants, around his genitals. Lord have mercy.
Ow.
Yes.
Oh, I
A
know my
lot
kids
of
have
it,
done
I
that
mean,
before.
like I said, a lot of it was just fun. He went
Yeah.
in front of the
You're like, that's
judge.
fun.
The
Oh
judges,
my
I
gosh.
mean, the judges always liked him. They were at parties together sometimes, and the judge was talking to him the last time he went. I went with him, and he had talked. Judge made a couple of comments, and Aaron stood up, and I said, "Oh shit." He said, "Your Honor," he said, "you don't have to worry about seeing me in your court again." He said,
Oh,
I've paid for every cop car in this county and ain't got to drive one, so I'm going to go somewhere else. Or a judge about the whole courtroom busted out laughing. And I'm like, oh my God.
what have you done? But it probably worked, didn't
Yeah,
it?
but that's the way they
Mm,
were,
yeah.
if Aaron done something wrong, he didn't have a problem late, doing his time. And
Yeah. You didn't
but it
disagree
was
with it.
just most of the time it was some little he didn't do paper well. I think them telling him he got to be somewhere at 8:30 in the morning unless it was a job. He wasn't
Yeah.
up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but he had a respect for him.
Excuse me.
Especially the guys down there because I mean, they just all liked him.
He just seems like the person, if you treat me like a person, I'm gonna treat you like a person. If not,
Yes,
Exactly.
exactly.
then
That's
that's a different
exactly
story.
how he was.
Yeah.
He could not stand to see
I'm the
somebody
same.
picked on.
I
He
don't care
couldn't
who you are,
stand it.
Can you imagine if more people, I mean, like the majority of people in this world were more like that, though?
Yeah.
How much better this world would be.
There's
We
nothing
all
wrong
just
with
kind of
that.
relax and just,
Well, we're
look
moving.
through Aaron's eyes.
It's just moving too fast. We don't
Yeah,
stop and take time and give thanks for what we do
we
have.
have. Yes,
With Aaron,
he
God, the
did.
lessons I've learned is absolutely out of this world. Uh, I get, unfortunately, people, you love your kids the same, but there's going to be one that
He's
holds
a,
one little special piece.
yeah.
And Aaron was the one that held mine.
Oh
And,
God. But he sure did, teach a lot of lessons to a lot of people. He gave a lot of
yeah, but the
love.
ones that need to learn the lessons are
They aren't listening though.
they can't hear it.
No.
They can't see it. And that includes, those sitting in positions of power.
Yeah.
Uh
And the ones that know and not
but
are not coming forward.
when a person in power loses humility
Ugh,
and
that
compassion
needs to be
for
gone
the people
out of office.
they're supposed to represent, then they have no business where they're at. And
Yeah.
Cindy Young, bless her heart, I've heard the way they were talked to, and Monica
Yeah, the families, it's
and
insane.
It's disgusting.
Rosemary. Uh, Somebody doesn't have good communication skills.
Ugh,
Uh,
it's
It
Or
seems
like,
like it's my way, the highway, whether you like it or not. And I was told, I didn't have no choice in accepting whatever they decided. The one time in my life, I kept my mouth shut and just said, there's always choices. And I
there
turned right
is.
around and sent a letter to the Department of Justice,
Good for
and
you.
I will keep sending them. I've
Good for you.
encouraged the people in our group to send them to FBI, the Department of Justice, Homeland Security. Somebody going to listen because there's too much. At first,
Absolutely.
of course, all of us think when it happens to us, that we're alone.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes.
it took me 26 months to realize you can't fight a
Something this
stronghold
big. Nope.
when you can't fight them by yourself.
Nope.
But there's definitely strength in numbers, and you
Oh,
get a
yes,
bunch
there
of
is.
wounded mama
Mm-hmm.
bears.
Yep.
You have
They're not. They're
no
They
idea.
don't have
Like
a chance.
yeah.
all of you got, even not just Tennessee, but that's just what I have come across, a lot of right now. But my point is, you all say the same thing. I thought it was just me. I thought it was just my case. I thought we were alone. I thought it
Yeah.
was just me that they were talking to like this or
Because they're
being
very
this way
sneaky
with.
and they manipulate other
Yeah. Well,
people.
because
Well,
So they'll have two faces. So the
see
ones
the
that are for
problem.
them are so strong for them because
See
they don't
the
see this.
problem. The problem in that district, the population is not huge, uh, and they control all the information that goes out. Most of those people, I had a friend of Aaron's from up there contact me through Facebook and ask me how he was. He lives up there, not 3 miles from where Aaron died. I said, son, he was killed out at Turkey Town 3 years ago.
He
He
just
could,
now messaged you?
yeah,
That's so
those people,
strange.
in those 7 counties.
How could he not know?
If you stop and think about it, you had COVID. It kept
Yeah,
everybody in where they couldn't socialize. People didn't go to church. So, and they control the news, much like the
that is true.
government.
If they're not out talking to people, they wouldn't
Yeah,
know.
much like they controlled it back in World War One and Two.
Mm-hmm.
They gave people what they wanted them to know, and that people didn't know the true stories till the boys started coming home. It's called
Yep.
propaganda,
Yeah.
and that's what they've done to these people. If their people are thinking, well, everything's hunky dory, and
In
those
there.
people, and they're wrong. They've got to
Mm-hmm.
step outside these houses and ask some questions. I mean, suicides in the jails, uh, Putnam and Overton, from what I understand, have been real bad. They actually let people just die in the jail, and a lot of them say it's got something to do with whoever provides the medical care inside. I mean, people hanging
Wow.
themselves and ain't found for 5 hours in a 5-person pod. I mean,
Yeah,
stuff
which
don't
makes
add up. Now,
no
that's
sense.
crap.
Mm-mm.
I
If they
had
are
the
not,
other day, on my they posted in the group that Harvard study on Tennessee, and then I posted it to the page. I'm
yeah.
not downing the person that made the comment or how they feel, but I was kind of taken back because they came out and said they're just talking about Nashville,
No,
and
they're not.
no, they're
No,
not.
they're
Yeah, that was,
not.
and then he said, and then
Oh,
they went on to
wow.
say Overton, Livingston, and Putnam are great counties. And I was just, I
Well, if
didn't
you're blind,
react
maybe, and
because
nothing's happened to you yet.
my knee
Well,
jerk
see that.
reaction was well, have you watched an episode of Unraveling Tennessee yet? 'Cause
Yeah,
but
good.
then,
Yeah,
I'm
really.
sure there are people out there that think they are great
Oh,
communities,
oh,
and
yes,
they
they do.
do.
They
Yes, because
do.
they
They
haven't
really
seen it
do.
and it hasn't
Yeah.
happened to them yet,
That's
but
right,
it might.
because
That's the whole
they
point.
don't see. they're not going to see nothing in the paper that's bad going
Nope.
on, and you have your
Mm-mm.
local drug dealer that's not paying a whole lot, and they're sacrificed for a little bit. I mean, it don't take no Einstein to figure it out.
No, I think
But
Mm-mm.
I believe, now this is my personal opinion. The ones in the robes is the ones. I mean, you got police officers that go out there, do their jobs, take these people to jail, and the judge slaps them on the wrist and puts them back out on the street. And you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about people that get 4, 5, 6, 7 first offenses. Now,
yeah.
when I went to school, you had one, two,
Two,
three,
three.
4, 5. And Tennessee has a three strike
Yeah, I was
law.
gonna say, sounds like they're
Yeah.
doing that to protect them from getting the
Yeah.
death
Well,
penalty.
if you think about it, you keep these drug dealers on the street.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more to this than just the drugs itself.
Yeah,
Uh, it's
they
destroying
impede
our
us.
society as a whole. And eventually it'll get turned over into socialism, and
Excuse me.
drugs is how they will control people.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're
And
already seeing that a
the
little bit.
drugs that are being manufactured up there are in a whole different realm.
Bad.
And
That's what I heard.
I mean, I've looked in these people's eyes. There's no, the lights on, but nobody's home. I
Yeah.
mean, they're
Yeah.
Russell at one time. He was an awesome guy. I mean, awesome. Worked hard. He bought his own car. He got married, had a child. Uh, but when his old lady got messed up and got on drugs, he beat her. And then for me to see him in the shape he was in, I didn't recognize him. Not, and I mean, he was a real good-looking young man, and
It destroys people.
Yeah.
it
It's
does, and
just,
that Walsh dope. Uh,
yeah, that's insane
a
when I
lot
heard
of
about that.
people. That's what they thought I was crazy to start with. It didn't take them
No,
long to figure out
it's
I wasn't.
legitimate, and I researched it.
Yeah.
Whew.
And I mean, and if you think about this, if they wanted to stop the production of meth, amphetamines, they wouldn't have the recipes on the internet.
Exactly.
So I mean, and the fentanyl. Huh? Hang on just a second. Yeah. But there's just, I mean, the fentanyl thing. I believe
Yeah, that's
Memphis.
wow.
A man in Memphis, the officer in Memphis said he had confiscated enough fentanyl in one
Yeah.
year to wipe out the entire U.S.
Oh,
population.
that's I seen.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
can you imagine? Like, I mean, you had made a good point earlier, not in the show, but at another conversation we had about if that had accidentally, the way they transported it, however they did, if that had gotten to our waterways, like how
yeah,
that could
exactly.
affect, you know, especially
Yes,
children. I know it disperses, but can you imagine? Like, oh my
exactly.
gosh, that is
Um,
so dangerous, even in getting transported here.
yeah, and I mean, I'm not. I don't call myself Democrat or Republican. I don't think neither one of them's worth a shit, and I don't care to tell nobody about that.
I
Uh,
don't blame you. Not lately.
you know, people.
It's not what
My
it is, and
daddy
you're
was
supposed to
raised.
be.
He was raised Democrat, and when he voted for Ronald Reagan, it threw me way off. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa! I said, you've raised me to be like this, and then you're going to pull a 360 on me. So I had to question about that, and the answer he gave me, I've carried throughout my life. And it
Mhm.
is that sometimes when you get that gut feeling,
You
you
gotta
have to
follow.
listen to it.
Yeah.
And if you may have to stand by yourself alone, but you have to stand by what you believe in. And
Exactly.
I've carried that a lifetime, and I taught it to the kids. I taught them. I was picked on a lot in school until I
Yeah.
finally started fighting. And bless Mama's heart, she'd say, "Turn the other cheek." Well, now I got tired of
Mm-mm.
having both of them black and blue,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
I started fighting. And I didn't start them, but I finished them.
Yep.
And I told my kids, I said, "Don't never hit somebody first." I said, "But don't let them run over you, because if you let them run over you once, they keep
Yep.
coming."
Yep.
And I
It's so
didn't have a
true.
whole lot of problems with them about the fighting and stuff. Uh, yeah, there's good kids. They, like I said, they didn't pick on people. They didn't think they were better than anybody. Now, and Aaron, especially Aaron, he would not watch somebody be picked on or belittled.
Mm-mm.
No
And
way.
his relationship, you can see in those pictures how he felt about babies.
Yeah, he's
They
just
were
like a
crazy about
gentle,
him.
gentle giant.
He was. In
Hmm.
many ways, he was. Now, him and the kid's mother, Jackie, uh,
Yeah, I know.
the day they met, it was like kismet. I mean, they fell for each other, but when them two would fight, it was like pouring
Hmm.
gas on a fire.
Yeah.
And Jackie wasn't but 4'11", and she had this thing. They'd get to arguing, and she'd look at him, she'd go, "Do it." And I said, "Lord, no, no." It's the funniest thing you ever seen, but that little gal wouldn't back up now
No,
and
we
keep
don't.
pushing
We're
his
too little.
buttons. Yeah,
Oh.
but now they had a really, really special love. And I
Yeah.
don't think she was supposed to have been able to have kids, or she didn't think she could. And then they had the babies, Lane in December.
Wow.
And Lane, like I said, I think he's 5'10" now, 13 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yes,
he's got the square jaws like the Masters. And December looks a lot like her daddy.
she
A
does. Yeah.
lot. I don't know if she's going to be as tall and slim, because Jackie's 4'11". So, but him and
Yeah, she
her,
probably will.
and Lanessa loves Jackie. I mean, Jackie come into their family. We just welcome people with open arms. We loved them, treat them like family, even if they wasn't. It didn't matter. Not always, it ain't always blood that makes a family family.
Well, sadly, a
And
lot of times for a lot of people, it isn't family, and that's okay
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
too.
and
Yeah.
And that's so great of you to be like that because that's how I am too.
Me too. It's taken me a long time to learn that, but
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
he's but Aaron was he was something. My car
Mhm.
was tore up. I had an '89 Turbo Grand Prix. Well, folks, I
Wow.
bought this car, didn't research what parts cost before you buy a car. Now I learned the hard way. They
Don't we
didn't
all?
build but a handful of these cars.
Oh gosh.
The master cylinder went out on it.
Oh.
Well, I was looking under the hood for the white master cylinder, and I'm thinking, where's the booster? These cars didn't have boosters.
I don't even
Mm-mm.
know what that
The,
is. That
the
just sounds like
master cylinder was about the
Yeah.
size of a lawnmower engine.
Mhm.
And do you know that master cylinder for that car was $1,995?
What? How much did you pay for the car?
When I
Do you
bought it, I
remember?
think I give 8,900 for it. Brand new, there's 32,000.
Wow.
But they
That's
didn't build but
insane for one part. Yeah, because the engine is what's supposed to.
Oh, the engine, she'd run. It
Yeah.
was a
But you know what I mean?
six-cylinder, but it had that big turbo on it.
Yeah.
I've
It's just like an
always had
extra
fast.
component on the
Yeah.
car, Ashley,
You ready to go in, honey?
Y'all are
for like the
talking.
big
Oh,
muscle
yeah.
cars.
Come
I
on.
love muscle cars.
My
Oh,
sister's big
honey,
into cars. She'd be in this conversation in a heartbeat.
uh, we had every muscle car just about you could dream of. 66 Super Sport Chevelle,
Yeah.
76 Golden Anniversary Trans Am,
Oh,
Corvette.
Trans Am.
We
Sorry.
had three at one
I
time.
like the look of a Mustangs. That's about
Yeah,
as
I had a Mustang. Yeah,
Oh,
they're
no.
okay.
I was
They're
always,
okay.
we
Oh, that's
always
like my
had General
dream
The
car.
Motors.
older ones, it's because of the car. The older muscle cars, nothing can beat those. Nothing can beat
Oh,
those.
no. You know about the
Those,
only
I
one I
mean, the
never got?
exhaust manifold opening up, that sound, like Lisa
Yes.
knows what I'm talking about. It's just
Yeah,
like,
you're talking about the guts and
oh,
the glory, too.
yes.
That old 66 Chevelle we had, it had a 427 4-speed in it.
Dear Lord.
It pulled front wheels. And then
Wow.
nearly all our cars were actually, now that I think about it, we had quite a few standards. But we
Yeah.
bought the 76 Trans Am as a golden anniversary. They didn't build but 100 of them with 455 4-speed
Yeah.
T-tops.
Yeah, that was like
Shifters
my
wore out,
favorite car ever. Hmm.
pressure plate, everything was wore out. My old man said, "You can't drive that car. I ain't buying it." I said, "You buying that car?" No, no.
You're
Took
gonna
me
buy
about
that car. I'm
five
in love with
days.
that car.
Took 5 days. I got the car. And he said,
Yeah.
"Well, you can't drive it." He said, "What are you going to do with it?" I said, "I'll drive it or I'll tear it all to hell one." I
That's
took
how
off.
I was. That's hilarious.
I took off and never missed a gear and had
Nope.
never drove a standard. My dad was a truck driver. I was born to change gears.
Oh my.
Yes. They're so much funner, but nowadays, like
Yeah,
the newer cars are boring.
yeah.
I
He
could
But
put
get
yeah, there's nothing better than those old stick shifts,
I could get
except,
somebody
uh-uh.
to the
geez.
hospital need be. I had my first boyfriend ever back in high school. Bless his heart. He had forgive me if I'm wrong, but a Daytona?
Yes, they built them.
Hmm.
Okay, he had that and it was a stick shift. He tried to teach me and I never stalled it out.
Now, what
I'd
year?
learned
What
I
year
worked the
was it?
clutch really good. Oh,
It's very,
jeez.
it's, you have to have strength to drive those cars.
Well, I never, I could work the clutch. My always thing is shifting. I'm too rough. And like, you know how people can just lay a
Yeah.
finger on it and shift? I'm over here
Hmm.
like,
Like
"Ugh."
jerky, you mean?
Yeah. But I could
Yeah.
get somebody to the hospital if I needed to. That's what
Okay,
as
the
far as it
Daytona.
goes.
What year was it?
Oh gosh, I don't know. It was
Oh, see, in 1970, they
it looked
built
like a
the.
Mustang-ish, like a
Oh no, that's some of the newer model ones then. But
yeah,
the
this
one,
is
see, the one car I want to drive. I wish God would let me drive it before I leave this world. Is a Plymouth Superbird with the 426 Hemi 4-speed.
oh man.
Yes, that'd be so much fun. We can go to the racetracks. You want to go to the racetracks, guys?
Uh,
I know it has
if
to
Pumped
you
be
ain't
up.
got,
That's
badass.
what we should
you're
have
not
done for
gonna.
Aaron's birthday. Come on.
I know it has to
Something
be
iron.
badass because you use the word Hemi.
Oh, all my kids had a need for speed too.
Yes, I wanted to actually do that me
My
too
sister,
because
she
we
thinks
have
she's
race car
NASCAR.
drive. Well, we have it in our family on my dad's side, and they like to. My uncle did. At least he was a race car driver, and
Let's just put it this way. I got 5 points taken off my driving test for being too cautious. Yes, it is a
oh my
thing.
god.
You could be
Okay, so you had
reckless by
anxiety.
being too
I was the
cautious.
opposite. I was a good driver though, a very good driver.
Let
Yeah,
me
But
tell
that's
you
when I was
about
younger, I was fast.
my driver's license when I got them when I was 16. I made 100 on the written test. An old state trooper that lived in the area, Sarge Thompson, give me my
Mhm.
road test. I drove a car one time. He got me
Really?
up the road, I guess is maybe a half a mile from where we took off at, and tried to get me to do a U-turn. I wasn't doing a U-turn because I knew he was going to fail me. We argued over that. And he said, "Turn around. We'll go back. You all right? I'm going to give you a license." I said, "You're going to fail me if I do this U-turn." We sat there and argued for about 15 minutes. He said,
Entrapment.
"Lisa," he said, "if you don't
Do
turn
the
this
U-turn.
car around." I didn't. I just get off the.
You did it. You did it good though, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I just saw
And
you
then
do it good. So I was like,
the
wait,
next
she did it though.
next time
Wow.
the state trooper seen me, it was Ledford. He clocked me at 110. I
Jeez.
hadn't been driving but 3 weeks.
Yeah, I was like that in the beginning. I was
I'm a
terrible. But
casual driver.
well, see, back when I was younger, in my defense, there wasn't that much traffic where I live. I mean, it definitely has grown like enormously since I was 16. But still, it was stupid. But it was fun. And I lived through
Yeah.
it. Thank God. Thank you, God. Thank you. I didn't hurt anybody else.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Aaron was Aaron he had a lead foot.
Yeah, that's what my dad said. He would always call
Yeah,
me. He said, "You got a lead foot." And I go,
loved
"No, I don't. I'm driving the speed limit."
My sister and my mama has
uh
but
he he
Mhm.
uh he'd work on them, shine and polish them. Uh,
Wow.
he
Sad.
just, I mean, the kids they were raised with muscle cars and
Mhm.
raised us
yeah.
drag racing between red lights and
How
That's
fun.
just how
oh,
yeah.
it was. I never. Well,
Gosh.
I drove that old '66 Super Sport in Lebanon, Tennessee, and I'd never go to third gear, and I never did get beat.
Wow.
But now, and Lanessa, she is great on the eighth of a mile track.
Yeah, I could see
But
that.
the boys didn't drive as good as she does. And this is a heck
No,
of a driver, especially at that Christmas tree.
I'm sorry, but women, I'm sorry, guys. Women usually are better drivers just because we're a little bit
Mhm.
more intuitive, I think. Maybe.
Hey, I feel the
I'm
road.
gonna
Oh,
get I'm
man.
gonna get ranked for saying this, I know, but it's
Oh,
kind of true.
I feel the road in the car and the vibration. Like I don't know about cars, but so I'm good at like sounds and vibrations and clinks and feeling it. I
Yeah.
feel that. I feel those curves.
Yeah.
yeah. But now, Aaron, he loved, he
But
was
I'm not a fast
particular. He was particular how his clothes was, even his work clothes. When he'd go to work, if it was all
Um,
right if they had a hole in the knee or something, long as it wasn't real big. But his clothes were always tucked in
yeah.
perfectly.
That's how my
When he let his hair grow out, he had blonde curly hair, prettiest hair I've ever seen in my
Mm.
life. It was gorgeous, but it had to be just right. And when it got out so long, he had a cowlick in the front.
Oh,
And
crazy.
I remembered in the embalming room I couldn't find his cowlick. He had two crowns in the back of his head in the cowlick.
Wow.
Oh, that's the reason he wore his hair cut short. But he dressed neat, took good
Yeah.
care of himself.
Yeah, just like all his pictures, he's dressed very,
yeah.
You
like
know he
professional almost, like very well put
So
together.
when I seen this, speaking of hair, his hair being short, when I seen this picture, it threw me back because the amount of hair he had. I'm not gonna lie. I was just
Oh
like,
God,
oh, he has hair because he's always has his hair short.
Yeah, I kind of didn't look
he
like
had
him for a minute.
Yeah, it was just
But
like,
yeah.
oh wow, okay, he had that. Wow,
Yeah. Like
yeah,
that
it's
rocker
very
stage.
thick, very
Yeah. It's
luscious.
curly hair. It looks so
yeah,
silky.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
He
I guess I didn't expect it because I've always seen it short.
Well, that's why he couldn't
Yeah,
stand it.
yeah.
when he was, I'm trying to think, in 83,
That's
83.
about right.
Yeah, he was 6. We moved to bought a trailer, moved to Mount Juliet, Tennessee, and they had concrete drives through it. And him and the little girl next door to us, she was a little bitty short Hispanic thing. Him and her got in more more trouble. The lady at Run Trailer Park come by one night. She said, Lisa, she said, you're going to have to keep Aaron off the playground for a month. I said, well, why? She said, him and Janet tarred the swings where they'd patched the holes in the.
Oh my God.
They tarred they dug
Oh
the
yeah, you
tar
told
out.
me
And,
this.
yeah,
You told
and
me
I've
this.
always called her name was Janet Garza, and I
Oh my
always called
God.
her Tar Baby,
Oh,
and I
tar
still
because of the
call her
tar
Tar.
incident. Because of the incident.
Yes,
Oh my God.
yes,
That's so great that you have so many stories that you can tell of him and remember. Because they're just so, not outrageous in a bad way, but you know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, Aaron
Just
was
very
one of
interesting
them. It
life.
was
Yeah,
he was
special.
sort of all over the spectrum, maybe.
Yeah, just kind of a
Yeah.
jack of all trades,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
also, yeah, just an angel on earth.
yeah.
He's like a free
And when
spirit.
I
I wouldn't say
found
like
out
a
he'd been
hippie, but
baptized, it was the greatest thing. I loved it. Uh, he had got his driver's license back, and we didn't even know it. When Sidwell told me, I said, how? I asked him how he ID'd him. He said, well, with his driver's license. I said, say what? He said, with his driver's license. I said, last I heard, he hadn't got them back yet. He said, well, he got them. He got them back March the 27th, 8 days before he died, 9 days. He'd come to a place where, he'd realize, it's time to grow up and let a lot of crazy things go and, live out your life and be at ease. But they made sure that didn't happen. And the big deal, the biggest thing that spoke to me in the early days of it was at his funeral. Not one of them showed up. Not one.
That's so telling
yeah.
because, I mean, just human nature. Human nature.
Because
Your
at that
friends or
point,
acquaintances, you just want to pay respect.
Because at that point, it was still believed that and everybody
Yeah.
that he had hung himself at that point.
Yeah.
So there would be no
There'd
reason
be
for
no
them.
reason for them to
Yeah.
be hiding out. They have
Yeah.
no
In the
reason for it.
night, visitation on Wednesday night, uh, Bud, his cousin, had seen Russell Cox somewhere. I don't know where it was. Probably up in Hillhound store. That's where they all congregated there, Susie Masters' store. And Russell told Bud that I was mad at him, that I thought he killed Aaron. At that
What?
time, I
I
didn't.
bet you were just like, what?
I didn't know
Yeah, I'm like,
that.
I said this was on visitation on Wednesday night. I
Yeah.
hadn't
Yeah,
got
you
to the
hadn't
point
even had
where
that
I could
thought
Yeah.
yet.
put the finger on nobody.
Mm-mm.
And that was one telltale sign to me. Because, like I said, I hadn't said a word. Uh,
Well, because
you
at
know,
this point, weren't you still being told it was just Aaron and his girlfriend there at the time?
oh God, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, she
that
didn't know
we
about the
believe that.
others yet.
It went for, like I said, 7 months.
Yeah.
Well, actually, when the autopsy report come in, and it was another month. Yeah, it was about 7 months because when I got back to the back of the page and it said the last page and it said suicide. I mean, after reading the rest of it, I was dumbstruck. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I mean, it. I believe it'll all come out.
Yes.
There's just too much that's not
absolutely.
right. If you've got, there's going to be one or two things, I'm sure, in most every case that isn't just exactly right. But like I said, well, me and Lanissa and the lady that went with us, when we come out of that room, we had a notebook. It's one of those spiral, notebooks.
Yeah, like you get for
We
school
had
or college.
2 pages completely full of questions.
Ugh, I can't even imagine. It's like you've
Yeah,
already been through the worst
Well,
tragedy of
because
your
they're
life.
telling you, he hung himself. It was just him and his girlfriend up there. There was nothing that she could do. And then you hear somebody saying, well, so and so thinks that you're mad at them and then you find out that there
Well,
wasn't just Aaron and his girlfriend up there.
no.
yeah.
Well, we didn't find that out till we went in and looked at everything.
Yeah.
And that when we heard the 911 call, and actually, there's a couple of things I can remember from that call,
Okay.
listening to it, that are not actually on those transcripts. But
Wow.
what we heard, it was like sort of in the background,
Uh-huh.
and but you could hear them. But the one thing they had a 911 call report from Nashville, Tennessee, where somebody called in Nashville.
Why would someone call in
I
from
have no idea,
Nashville?
but they had a copy of it, and
That is very
Very.
interesting, and I would love to know
yeah, I would too. But
who that is.
it was an anonymous tip, and I mean, there was just a lot of, and
Wow.
Karen, watching her, and I was after I read the 911 report that Ashley got a hold of.
Yeah.
It said that Karen's face was all beat up or blue. It was blue, something to do with blue. And
Uh-huh.
according to her, Karen's statement, she said that Aaron was pushing her off with his feet and hands, which
Mhm.
means that should have been, he's wiggling around, that rope's tearing his neck up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't even need to do that
Yeah.
for that to tear his neck up.
And that's how her face got tore up, is where if he's supposedly
Yeah,
pushing her away
no.
and stuff. No, it
No.
don't. There's none of it
Mm-mm.
washes. I mean,
Mm-mm.
it don't make no sense. Anybody, you've got a whole population sitting out there saying, no way it happened. And then you've got one person that says, well, that's the way it is. Mm-mm.
Well, if they
No.
have you believing it was just him and his girlfriend up there and there was nothing she could do, sure. It seems, yeah. But then you find out that they was lying, like deliberately lying if you ask
Yes. And
me.
that's exactly what they were
There were
doing,
more people up
deliberately
there.
lying.
But if you look at
Well,
it and you go by what they were just trying to tell you, well, of course this woman couldn't get this big old man out that rope. You know what I mean? It
no,
would make sense.
but the thing about it is, the rope I've got's 47 inches. The rope that was around his neck, if I was guessing, max 26 to 30 inches. You got 16 feet, and you've got 6'6". They couldn't have got to Aaron to cut him down. I mean, and the rope, those ropes don't ravel like that.
No.
No.
Didn't you do a test or something like that, or someone
Yeah, I
did a
did.
test?
Sure did. And cutting those ropes isn't very easy. But when that was the one I done, that rope didn't fray but maybe an inch.
That
And
rope
I
to me
actually
just
had,
looked old, like it had been like that for do you know what I
yeah,
mean? It just looked like
yeah.
an old rope that had been sitting there and had been messed with for years and years.
Well, I found out last night about a particular individual up there that had one hanging on his wall at one time, and it wasn't out at Hack's. Because when Derek asked Hack if he ever saw a rope hanging in the room, and there in Karen and Aaron's room on the wall, Hack said no, he never seen one. We're talking about a house this man owned.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows what's in that house and what wasn't. But every time I look at the photos I've got, I find something new. In the photo where that makeshift funnel is, if you'll look off to the right, there's another piece of the rope just like the one it was hanging.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they just did. I mean, Aaron's hat, you got a camouflage hat sort of blend in, and in a shed like that with the color of the dirt and everything. But you would think they would have took the whole rope. Protocol says in a situation like that those should have bagged his hands. And I think, and I'm afraid, this is it, I'm afraid that I know why his pants and his belt was undone. And if I'm right, these people are lower than, they're the lowest form of human being.
Why do you think if you can't answer, don't answer. But
I'll just say it's got some, Aaron had a slow PEA, which means they can have a slow PEA, according to what I've read, for up to 5 hours. It depends on the physical health, I guess, of the individual.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a lady contact me. She was a nurse at Vanderbilt. And she said, butt chugging. I'd never heard nothing like that in my life. And is sick. And they say alcoholics will do that.
Yes,
but like I said, I had never heard of that. The only thing about funnels I remember used to when they would funnel beer. Mm-hmm. But I figure that sort of explains a couple of things that was on the toxicology. I may not, I may be way off on it, but the people that I've talked to tell me I'm spot on. So, it's, it remains to be seen. But every day there's just more comes up that indicates, I was right. And I mean,
oh, for sure. When I got those 911 transcripts, not that I didn't believe you, but it's just like for people that, for people out there that doubted you.
Yeah. I understand why people would have had their doubts. I get that. But when you have the same people at several crime scenes that are supposed to be suicides, something's up. And, these people, they've done some research, I mean, you can Google anything now, on that. You can get off YouTube how to commit the perfect murder. So, Aaron knew too much. He'd done, he'd give me too many names.
I think it was a perfect opportunity.
Things that were going on that at first I didn't believe.
No.
But when you get 3 or 4 more people tell you the same thing, it changes.
Mm-hmm.
But
and there's, I believe it will come out. We may not be able to.
I'm sure it will.
We may not be able to.
Because, when you've got people that have placed themselves on a pedestal that they basically compare themselves to God, God ain't gonna let that happen long,
Mm-mm.
and all glass houses eventually shatter. And we've got a group of people up there that we're standing together. Every one of us is backing
Yes.
the next one.
Yes.
And we're going to be heard. If we have to
Because
go to
you didn't
Washington,
know, and
D.C.,
now they know.
we are going to be heard.
I
We're
kid you
not
not.
going to be talked to like, unfortunately, you have a lot of people, a considerable amount of people that are not highly educated. They're just good, hardworking people. And sometimes people don't know how to ask the right questions. Some of the people on that billboard might not be up there had somebody from the police department or the DA's office sit down with these people and explain to them maybe why they arrived at the decisions they had made, you know. But when you just close something where families can't ask the questions, that makes people, it makes them think, something ain't right.
Yeah.
And like I said, I had no reason in the world not to have complete faith in our judicial system. And in the police officers. But
Yeah.
I learned that was one of my biggest lessons because a lot of the people, like I said, they control the information these people get. They'll sacrifice a drug dealer here and there. But these people got to realize, you know, these people are doing dirt too. And there's a lot of people talking about their dirt. I don't care about their dirt. All I've wanted is my son's death certificate changed for his children. You know, Mr. Dunaway, he hasn't disrespected me. I don't, not personally. Well, that ain't the way to say it. He, the two times that me and him spoke, he spoke to me in a nice manner. It wasn't compassionate, but it was nice. Now, the ADA Mark Goer, that is not a people person. Uh, Maybe he just got a power struggle going on. I don't know. But he was ugly to me on the phone. And I pray to God I've still got the recording. Because I don't
You
know
do.
why I recorded a lot of this stuff. I have no idea, but I did.
That's the smartest thing you
Uh,
ever did.
yeah, for some, I guess my gut was telling me, but
Yeah.
I believed in these people in that county. I mean,
Yeah.
you, you know, I
But
mean,
it's
my
not all of
dad,
them, it's I
it's
mean, it's
not.
a good amount, but it's not. There's ones that are also stuck, and we always want to say that. Like, we do feel
Yeah,
extreme compassion and sympathy for those of you that
well,
are stuck in the situation of being, trying to do the right
when
thing.
they have families to provide for, they've got to put food on the table.
Yeah.
They
And they're
want their
stuck in a
kids to
really
have
bad
nice things.
situation. Yeah.
But when you get pushed into a go along to get along situation,
It just
it's
gets
only going to get worse. And
exactly.
I believe in my heart there's good guys in there. I know I could name several that works in that department that have told that they knew for a fact Aaron didn't hang himself.
Yeah.
But you've got one person who's decided, well, hey, we can't try 9 people. County ain't got that much money. It takes some effort to prepare time, man hours. gathering evidence, sending it to the labs to be tested. I mean, there's a lot to it.
Yeah,
And
it
hell,
seems
when
like
you
there's a
rule
little
it,
bit more than that, though. For me, I
yeah,
don't
but
know. That's my opinion.
when you rule it suicide, uh, pretty much well open and shut. You ain't gonna have no trial, no lengthy investigation. You're
Very
not gonna
true.
sit and be waiting on test results to come back.
But where's
Uh,
that money going? Because I mean, as far as I know, that money has to be spent, or they don't get
yeah, it does.
next fiscal
Well,
year funding.
yeah,
So
well,
that
now,
money's going somewhere. So it's
well,
obviously
I
not going
know
to trials.
I was reading about, I believe it's somewhere as something to do with Davidson County. They have like a second fund that they'll transfer that money to and spend it. I guess when they decide they want to spend it. But you know, if you
Mm,
stop and look at keeping all these drug dealers on the street,
hmm.
they're generating. You know, they'll go pop them. They get caught with something every now and then.
They're
They
making a
go to
lot of money.
jail. Yeah, they go to jail. Well, then you got your bond people making money. Then when they show up for court, you got court costs, probation fees,
Yeah,
and
it's like
attorneys. It's
empire in there.
yes, it
Hidden
generates
empire.
a huge revenues.
Hmm.
And you know, you've got your court dockets full, all kinds of money coming in. But the thing that gets me there, okay, if you have a first offense this week,
Pardon me.
and then you get another first offense next week,
That's not possible.
where does the money for the first one you got go? Where's it going to?
Well, that doesn't even make sense in the legal system.
Well,
Like that
well,
doesn't.
that's
In theirs, it does, I guess. But you know what I mean? Like, you're right about the money part, absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, you can't just skip over one and make it one again. That doesn't.
mm-mm.
Like, how are they
No.
getting away with that? That's so mind-boggling that I just don't understand why there's
Well,
no
I went
um
in and I looked at a lot of
accountability.
their records. Well, it's got to do. I mean, it's not just in that district. I mean, you got there's got to be somebody state level that's part of it. There has to
No,
be.
I know. I don't mean to go like further out. I'm just saying
Yeah.
yeah.
But you
So
know,
keep going.
the thing, but people, the big problem is where people have sat for years and decades, didn't ask questions. Well, why is this? Well, why is that? Well,
I mean,
now when they're you know, they're not putting out information. Well, this person hung themselves. This person was killed in a car wreck. Uh, this prominent man hit a motorcycle, killed a man, and badly injured a female. Those things aren't being put out for the public to be made aware of.
yeah.
So
By the way, these are true things, people.
they're controlling the information that's going out.
Oh, yeah.
Which, and I mean, when they do that,
That's censorship,
people's got
like
this.
huge.
Yeah, people's got this false sense of security.
Yeah, they
But
just
when
have a
these drugs get this bad enough in areas this small, people think sitting behind their doors is going to keep them safe. It's
it's
not,
not.
because when junkies start wanting their fix and they want it, they don't care who they hurt, whose door they have to kick in, or whose older mother or father they kill.
They don't.
Because make no mistake about it, that dope they're selling up there, it either
It,
makes people, it makes killers out of good people.
it does. It makes them evil, like
It does.
crazy. Hmm.
And I mean, people that you would never ever dream would do such a thing.
Wow.
I mean, it's the only way the people
Reminds me
can
of
stop it
zombies almost.
is if they will start standing up
Mm-hmm.
and wait a minute, you know, people are, that sign has brought a lot of awareness, and it's served for a good thing.
Yes, it did.
And people are talking, and people are starting, the communities are starting to ask questions, you know, When did this happen? Why is this happening? I mean, why are they drugs in the jail? I told them how they was getting in there, and the person that told me knows. And poor little old Karen, she told everybody how they was moving around in the jail in their flip flops. I mean, all you got to do is listen. But people have been in the dark so long, they've got a false sense of security.
Yeah.
And
they don't want to admit that they have a problem, and that's a hard problem to face.
yeah.
But it's
And
so needed for their children, their grandchildren.
Yeah. Well, so, I make no mistake about it. That area of Tennessee is one of the most incredibly beautiful areas in the state.
Oh, yeah.
The lakes, the tree, the
Shayne.
forestry. It's just it's picturesque, but it's
like a
the looks are very deceiving.
Yes.
And people, I can't there's none of us in our group that's lost a child. We can't bring them back.
No.
But when you've got parents that's got kids that's going to grow up there, we're talking about future generations. We're talking about, sex trafficking and
getting them
drugs.
possibly hooked on the drugs and turning out. Yeah. Like we're just trying to save this from happening to anybody else.
Yeah, people have got to, I'm old. I'm 63,
no, That's pretty good.
But the thing is, there's future generations of children need a fair chance at not having the drugs pushed on them because there's nothing else to do. Because people can sit and think all day long. Some of the wealthiest people up there can sit and think, well, my child will never do drugs. Kids experiment.
It can happen to anybody.
Well, then you got to think about the ripple effect that it has. The children that are growing up in these environments, and then
that just compounds the problem. But it doesn't.
And if they don't start taking it off the street, keeping the drug dealers on the streets,
so purposeful.
The kids ain't got a chance. They haven't got a chance.
No.
Because they've got everyone kind of just, hoodwinked over there.
Well, see, when you've got somebody that's been into it for years and years and years and years, that's all they think about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I know.
They don't care who they hurt, who they step on.
Yeah,
there's gonna be, I don't know the stats on this. Maybe this is something I need to think about trying to get them on. But, a lot of officers, your white collar workers, bankers, lawyers, they do them. They do drugs. Some of them, not all of them.
Well, I know anybody, judges.
Back in my party days, I was up in a town about 45 minutes from here, and I was big into smoking weed, and in a party there's too many heads, so I dip around the block and I go around the corner and I light up my bowl. Little do I know, an officer in full uniform comes around the corner, scared the shit out of me. I said, I have my bowl in my mouth and lighter lit, like there was just no way out of it. And I'm like, he was like, is that weed? I was like,
yeah.
What was I gonna say? And he was like, "Can I hit that?" And I was like, "First of all, this is."
Are you playing me? Like, what are you doing here?
No, he said to the bowl with me, and he said, "Thanks, I gotta go back on duty."
Yeah.
Well, that's not an evil drug compared to we're talking about.
They do. They're not just these people that put on these badges and they automatically are immune to anything us regular.
Oh no, it can happen to literally anybody. It can, and under the right circumstances, it is so capturing. It's evil. There's no other way else to explain it.
Well, the thing is, people go get to a place where something bad's happened. They feel like they've got nothing to lose, deaths in the
Yeah.
families, and they look for a way to escape. And
Yeah.
sometimes
It's to
some of them will put
cover
it,
the pain.
they'll do it once and they'll put it down. But then you have those that are wounded so deep
Yeah.
They want
that
to be like
nothing
that.
matters. Yeah, that
Exactly.
nothing matters. And then you've got it there readily available because you got 75 dope dealers on the street and
Yeah.
Yeah.
25 customers.
I mean, can you
So,
imagine if it was like that everywhere? Everyone probably would, be weak at some point. Not everybody. That's
well,
not a
you
fair
need,
statement, but a good amount of people would be at a point in their life it was available everywhere to be tempted to try
yeah,
something dangerous like that. You know what
kids,
I mean?
kids, kids are going to be kids. They're going to
And kids,
experiment it.
especially. Yes, we all did.
Yes. You know what
Most of us did.
the peer pressure thing is big, especially in small areas. And
Hmm.
like I said, I was privileged to grow up in Salina, had the
Oh,
lake. We played ball in tornado warnings when I was in 8th grade.
wow.
And the whole community stood out there in this rain and mud, knee deep.
To watch
We was
you.
playing ball. Yes, the community come out for for each other. Somebody's
Yeah,
house burnt. They people got together, got them clothes, got them a place to stay, got them started
yeah,
again.
that's
And see,
amazing.
everybody sits in their houses now. They don't
Yep.
know. Sometimes
Talking
they
each
don't
other.
even know who their neighbor is, and that's a problem. We don't love thy neighbor anymore. We're too
Yep.
busy trying to surpass somebody. And at the end of the day, all the material things you acquire here on earth, you can't take with you. They're just on loan. And
Exactly.
a lot of times you got parents that's worked hard all their lives. They pass away and their kids squander it quickly.
Yep. Yep.
And most of the time when that happens, it's about the drugs. But
Yeah.
my thing, I would love to see the sense of community back like it used to be. I mean,
Mhm.
people drank, but they didn't kill each other just to be doing something.
Yeah.
In Aaron's case, there was a gang on him. They couldn't go with him one on one. They knew it, and they ganged up on Aaron.
Yeah.
I mean, it's they'll never try any of them for capital murder. I'm pretty sure about that. You might get a manslaughter charge, something like that, because murder cases are expensive to try. And yeah, I mean, there's witnesses that saw them loading up cleaning chemicals.
Mm.
The 911 report shows, that there was a crowd there when it went down.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
hey, wait a minute, Ashley, you calling me?
I'm not call. Oh, how am I calling you? I'm not
Oh,
calling.
he's messing with the phones again.
Somebody asked my phone. They just want to talk, Lisa. It's one of my little gremlins.
No, it's not your gremlin. It's Aaron,
Okay,
probably. He likes to mess
let me
with
see how I can get
electronics.
back to you now.
He just
There
wanted
you
to
are.
join the happy
I'm thinking,
birthday.
what's she calling me for?
That's that.
But
Who? That was Aaron.
people got to start asking questions,
He just,
Yes.
holding those officials. No,
oh,
See,
is
no,
he
no.
doing it again? Oh my gosh, Lisa, I'll be right
Ashley,
back. I'm so sorry.
I told
I'll
you.
be right back. Let me.
You're fine. It's not you, really. They like to do this, people. I knew
are you
it. I
there?
knew it. Yeah, I'm here. Jen's here. Are you there, Ash? Where'd Ashley go? Lisa, you're here?
Okay. Hello,
I'm here.
you guys there?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll leave and come back in.
Hi, I'm here. I can hear you.
Are you there? I think everybody dropped.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
There you go. Are you there, Lisa?
Now we can't hear her though. That's really weird.
Oh no.
Oh, that stinks. Well,
Down in
maybe
the
she'll
room.
try to call in because I could hear her last time. She just couldn't hear us, so something got
She
messed
might
up
come
or
in.
tweaked up.
Yeah, he has he had my phone. He got a hold of my phone. He's called her. Said no more
Yeah,
calling.
definitely. I told her to watch out for that sign, and I think he just stopped the show. But she doesn't need to do
Well,
that.
Well,
We wanted to be the showstopper, so let's wait and go ahead.
while we're waiting for her to come, let me stop this. I just wanted to um let me do this. Share screen here.
Okay.
Let me see. There it is. I just wanted to bring up his petition. I posted it
Mhm.
the I just wanted to see where it was at. 1,522.
Yeah, we
Um,
got it up to 1,500 on Easter.
yes.
We were really
Yes.
excited about that.
Just for people that were watching and they, just joining in. There's a petition that tells a little bit about the details, and we've done a few Unraveling Tennessee episodes with Lisa. But the petition is, she wants to have her son's body exhumed and re-examined by an independent pathologist. She understands how difficult that would be. Anybody in her situation knows that, but she's going into that, if that's what it takes to find answers and get that certificate changed, then that's what she's going to do. So that's what the petition calls for. Let me get her back in here. She just popped back up.
Okay.
Maybe.
Mm.
Let me get rid of this. Hold on just a second. There she is. I was just
Can you hear
telling her, can you hear us?
yeah,
There
my
you
Oh,
go.
there we
phone,
go.
my phone died.
I was just going
Oh,
through the petition to kind of, give a little bit, everybody a little bit of an idea of kind of what you're hoping for.
Well,
And how,
the biggest thing we've got Courtney Cash, the Bohannon families fixing to do one of the hardest things you ever have to do. And the big thing is hope that maybe we can't bring the ones that's already lost back, but maybe we can make a difference for future generations.
we
I will
can.
never, I will never live back in the area as beautiful as it is. You know, there's too much heartache up there for me. But there's
Understandable.
people. I have family. I have friends that have chose to live there, and they have kids and grandchildren. And
Gotta
I just
protect them.
pray for a better world for them. You know, take the
Yes.
drugs off the streets. I mean, the only way to take them off the streets is get rid of the dealers. But see, if they get rid of the dealers, they're all in jail. That means lawyers not going to have as many clients. The court system's not going to have as many people coming in there. But you have sentencing mandates for a reason
Yeah.
to, let people know that there's consequences for their actions. And
Yeah.
when with Monica Kaysen, her brother,
Oh,
he,
so sad.
the gal took his shoes off of him, took his jewelry,
Hmm.
left him laying in the floor to die, and left. He was in her apartment, but they can't tie her to it. This woman's got 3 bodies under her belt.
Wow.
My book, it's no different than pulling the trigger on a gun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then you've got Rosemarie, a man driving a car, speeding, no driver's license, got minors in the car and they all drinking, but there's nothing, and leaving the scene of an accident is not a crime.
Yeah.
I got news for him in Tennessee. It is.
Oh,
And
yeah. It's
then
That's
definitely,
what
it's a felony. It's a felony, hit and run,
search.
and
if
it's
it was
manslaughter.
yeah. Well, you can vehicle. They can charge. There's several different
Vehicular
charges they can level
homicide.
on that.
Yeah.
Ah,
But then you've got, you know, Rosemarie's son. That's a they
Oh, that
want,
breaks my heart.
and you look at a mother and say, "What do you want me to do? Write him a speeding ticket?"
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's arrogant.
No,
Yeah.
that's somebody that doesn't have any empathy.
That's disgusting.
Exactly.
I
And then you've
understand
got
how someone can respond like that to somebody. I
you've
know that
got
they have to like kind of build, a little bit of a shell, but that's not a shell.
No,
That's
that's
no,
disgusting.
no, and
that's
then you've got Courtney Cash, Johnny Cash's great niece, and then you've got to sit back and look at the rest of us. If his great niece can't get justice,
Yes.
what are the chances that we can? I mean, I don't care. No matter where you go, the first one cuts the deal, offers to cop the plea. That's the one that gets the deal. And in Courtney's case, they've got the wrong man in prison. There ain't no 2 ways about it.
they
But
let
then
someone
again, all those thousands of people out there that sees what really happened, and then you've got the one that says, "No, that ain't it." You know, there's
oh, sounds
abuse
like
of power, in my opinion. Uh,
I
I
agree.
don't, I just don't. I just hope for change for future generations. I want my thing. All I've wanted was his death certificate changed. That was it. And I don't think it's too much. It takes a better man to stand up and say, "Hey, we made a mistake on this one." People
Exactly.
think you're human then. They can trust you more because all of us make mistakes.
Exactly.
They're not God. And telling people you can do anything you want to is not a good thing. But then when you got with the court and the judge don't call you on it, then that's not cool either. So
And
there's
it
a
should make
lot
people really wonder and really
there's
research.
a lot of dark issues, but people are waking up. They're asking the questions that need to be asked, and
Yes.
they're starting to ask the hard questions.
Yep.
I mean, there ain't no need of candy assing around and trying to ask them something real nice. Put it out there. Give me an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I won't never be back. but for those that's there, they deserve to be represented by somebody that cares about the people.
Yeah.
They really
And
do. And it
grandchildren.
don't matter. It don't matter if you've got somebody comes in there that can't read and write and they want to ask questions,
They
have
don't have a chance.
somebody in the office take the time and explain to them why it is what it is.
But they
You
take,
know,
yeah.
when you don't communicate with the people you're supposed to be representing, exactly what's happening right now is and it got out of control because of a lack of communication.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm.
you know, there is an awful lot of wrong, an awful lot. I don't know exactly what branch it is. Uh, I have my opinions, but everybody's got opinions.
Yeah.
But when you have somebody that can benefit you, say your next campaign, when you maybe want to run for a higher office, then that's somebody, you know, they're going to bust their butt to solve a case like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then you've got Aaron out there, he was trying to do the right thing. And when they threatened his family,
Mm.
that don't work.
Hell
Because see,
no.
Aaron had the family loyalty thing going on. Most people don't know that, don't know it. They don't understand it. You know, it's dog eat dog. I tell you what, I'll take the love of my family any day over anything money can buy.
Oh, absolutely. I would, at
But
least.
ladies, I'm going to get off here. I appreciate
So much for
it
sharing.
was, you know,
I'm so glad that you
it
came
was
on it.
great to see the pictures and the effort you two put in it. I
No,
appreciate it.
love
No,
him.
you would.
We love you.
Love you, and I'll talk to you later.
Okay, you're there. Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye
Okay,
bye.
bye-bye.
Ah, I'm so glad that we did this. It's good just to remember him for more than what's going on right now. You know,
Yeah, it's important to learn how he was as a person,
I think
you
that
know,
was so good. That
because
was so needed.
it is, because we need more people in this world like him, and it makes me very sad when we lose people like him. And,
I just
it's
think it brings them to life, you know.
it does. It does that too, 'cause it makes people able to kind of, put themselves in, someone else's shoes. Not that any mother wants to do that. I haven't lost a child. I've never claimed to,
No.
but that's been my biggest fear since the moment I looked at my daughter's eyes. Like, I didn't even know that fear existed until she was born. And just, it's always been my biggest fear. And her strength, these mothers' strength. And we can, if we all come together like we have been and keep doing what we're doing, this changes things. This is the only thing that can change things.
Yeah, and it is. You
And we
know, it
can't let
is.
him die in vain. He will not die in vain. He
When
will not.
it is really. It is. We're creating that storm, that
It's
space.
needed because it needs to be, there needs to be a really big cleanup, a big someone needs to come in and kind of take a looky, because something's not right, and whatever it is, it just needs to be fixed. We're not for revenge. It's nothing to do with that. We just want a brighter, better future, and we want what's been done to be righted.
Amen.
Yes.
And Aaron's, for his birthday, I ask everybody, if you just click on this, sign his petition. It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah, please.
The
That
most
would make the
difficult
world
thing
better.
besides losing Aaron would be to bring him back up. But
Yes.
she's willing and she knows that that's a possibility.
Yeah.
And she's willing to do that. So I ask everybody to just take the time to help her. Um,
Yes.
before we hop off on her, and it says down there she wants to pay for a private pathology, private testing, second, and independent autopsy report, the whole shebang. and
Yeah, of course. And I don't blame her because you need that.
and that's a
Somebody
lot.
completely unbiased. Hmm.
So we started her. Let me get this here. Let me stop this. We started her T-shirt
Yeah,
fundraiser.
I bought one. I recommend the baseball one to people. It's very
I
comfortable.
like that one. Yeah.
Yes, it's so my grandson loved that one too. He saw
Well,
that rabbit and he put it on and he was, like it was a nightgown. I'm like, okay, well, I guess it's yours.
a lot of people, like, we've sold 19 sold out of 500 goal.
Yeah.
We've raised
Yeah, they're
$43.
actually it's for such a good cause, you guys. I mean, we are making things happen. We're helping families. We are learning so much and we're so grateful for everything that you guys have trusted us, with and in us, for it does mean a lot to me, because I really do care and love each and every one of you. And, Aaron's making this happen. And, another, quite a few are, but we can do this. Like, this is not okay. This is not okay. This is not America. We don't do this. They're not allowed to do this. And if our government won't stand up, we have to. That's all we can do. We are people. We are strong. We do.
I told Lisa when I first met her, I said, well, Lisa, they can shut you up. Of course, they can shut just you up, but they can't shut y'all up.
Yeah, but it's been like that through history. If people
They
really look through
can't.
history and numbers is where that's what you have to do when it becomes this way, to make
Showing
change.
that
So
they can
we're
do
not being
it.
violent. There's no violence. It's just,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They are showing that they can do it in a non-violent,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
I've never seen nothing has ever happened that has been aggressive or any kind of violence towards them ever, ever through this whole thing. And as a mom, I actually give her big props for that because I have to say, I don't know if I could have held my composure. I really don't.
Oh,
You know,
no.
'cause when it comes to, you know what I mean? I mean, we don't really know until it happens to us how you react, but I think at that point I might lose it. And
That's
I
why I
don't,
say, like, I can never say I know, but I don't
because
think
we
I
don't really know, we don't know until we go through it. But I'm just imagining that I probably wouldn't be that strong. So
would be
kind
locked
of
up.
have a lot of like admiration for that,
If
the ability.
anybody's wondering, Aaron's favorite color was purple. So if
Yeah, that's
anybody out there,
fine.
all
It's a
this
beautiful
money
color.
goes towards Lisa's independent autopsies, all of that good stuff. That all goes to her.
Investigation, whatever. Yeah.
But if
Hmm.
anybody out there wants to and wants to kind of make it more special, Aaron's favorite color was purple.
Yes, we love purple.
Yes. Yes,
No, so
yes.
we acknowledge his family. If you guys are watching, I'm so sorry, but we love you and just know that Aaron's always watching over all of you. And Daddy loved you and he did not leave you. I promise you that. He never would have left you
That's the
on
thing
so
I
very well.
is, he didn't decide to leave them, and they don't need to ever
No.
think that.
And not saying anything about anybody else because I do understand mental health very well, but it's not what really happened and they deserve the truth,
I
because
think
it's a
it
hard thing to deal with. Very hard.
I think it will come.
Yeah, it will. I know it will. I
I
feel
think
it.
it will. And
All right. Well,
I
thank you.
think when it does, I would just want to make it clear, there's a lot of things that we can't talk about when you're doing this. I'm not going to be one that just comes and runs and puts
Yeah.
everything out there. Just know, proper channels are being gone through. And when we get the green light, all will be known. And that, for now, that's just how things are going to have to be. And I'm sure Lisa will want to come back when we can and let everybody know. So
Yeah. Yes. So
for his birthday, I ask everybody to buy a shirt and sign his petition.
Yeah, so maybe put some birthday wishes in that petition. I think that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Birthday. So I
Okay.
appreciate everybody being here. Thank you, Jen. I know you've been here with Lisa since the beginning too, haven't you? For quite a while.
Yeah, I mean,
You've
at
gotten to
least
know
there.
Aaron very, very well.
I feel like I know him. Yeah, yeah.
So
It's
I'm so
she's
glad
an
that
amazing woman, and I will never give up on her or her fight because it's right, and that's how I was raised.
yes. I
So
thank you for
thank you
coming in,
everybody for
celebrating
joining.
my member. I do.
Yeah, and you too, because you've done quite a bit too. So we're all a team. We're all part
Yes.
of this army.
That's how it's gonna get done. I keep telling everybody we
Yeah,
all between people sharing, viewing, asking,
yeah.
and all of us coming and them
And
coming
we're not, we
together.
just want people to inform themselves. Like it's out
Yeah.
there. It may be a
Research,
little bit more
do it.
difficult to find it, but if you're specific enough and put those right keywords in, you're
Yes.
gonna find stuff. So just inform yourself because it's not like we're not trying to force our opinions on you. We're trying to warn you.
We're
That's
just trying to give a good layout of why these cases need something done.
yes. And that's
That's
just my opinion, not
all.
hers. Not DC Spotlight, just my opinion.
Yeah. All of our and I offer in all sides, all opinions here. We don't
Yeah,
censor as
I
long as
know.
you're not bashing. That's
That's
all.
why I thank you so
Yeah.
much because you're very unbiased.
Yeah.
Very
I
unbiased. And we need that.
I love you. I love you and
We
Lisa.
love you so much. All right.
All
Everybody,
righty.
good night and happy birthday, Aaron. We love you.
Yes. Thanks everybody for coming and celebrating with us.
Yeah. Okay. Good night.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming in. Drop a happy birthday. Like I said, if it were up to me, everybody would buy a shirt and sign his petition to help support what we're trying to do for him. Get that certificate changed, get those second opinions, and yeah. I thank you guys for being here. Happy heavenly birthday, Aaron. I hope that at this time next year we would have come so justice will be done. I believe that. I thank you all for joining tonight. Happy birthday, Aaron. Thank you all. It's Ashley TC Spotlight. Until next time, you guys have a good night and you stay safe.